Good evening. I'm Aiden Taylor, the Executive Director with Clay County CERT, and this is Prepardness Live. I would like to welcome you to our second episode of an initiative by the Clay County CERT Community Education Division to bring response and preparedness professionals to you live periodically to discuss our community's questions. Today joining us is our host, Elizabeth Gallaher, and the supervisor of the Clay County CERT Community Education Division. And our special guest, the Clay County CERT Community Education Division's 911 Telecommunications Sector Ambassador and a 911 dispatcher in Clay County, Vickie Browne.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us, Vickie, and it's nice to have you. And with that, I will leave it to you and Elizabeth.
Okay. Oh, hi, Vickie. Can you tell us what is 911?
Well, 911 is a number that is known countywide. It is known statewide, countrywide. It's a universal number that we are taught as a child to call when we are in need, when we have an emergency that is going to require special help. 911 is the calm voice in the dark for probably what will be one of the most horrific times in your life.
Mm-hmm.
We are the thin yellow line.
Okay. Well, what should a community member do when they call 911? When should you call 911?
You should call 911 when you have an emergency. We get calls from something as simple as a fall to something as major as a stroke, a heart attack, an MVA, which is a motor vehicle accident.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel that you are in a situation, whether medical or harm's way, and you feel that there is no other alternative and that you need help, that's when you need to call 911.
Okay. How can the community help the dispatcher?
When you, a lot of people think that we say, 911, what's your emergency?
Mm-hmm.
But we say 911, where is your emergency? The very first thing that we need to know is your location. We need your location, your phone number, your name, and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Without the address and the phone number, especially if you call on a cell phone, in the cities, the cell phones will pinpoint your location. But here, it'll pinpoint where the tower is. What if Bees Run or Doninger or something. But it is very, very important that if you, in some cases, you can't. You are so distraught, hysterical, that the only thing you can think is, I need help. Just get me help.
Right.
But without that phone number and that address, there is cases that we can't do anything. And that is a horrible feeling.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
We'll get phone calls, people, needing help in different, situations. And we can sit and listen to them that they need help. But because a lot of people in our area that call, they have the phones, the state phones, the cell phones that are state phones.
Right.
And if it's a state phone, it has 3 numbers in the beginning. I don't know if it's 304 or what. And then it has 911 and then the last 4. 911 cannot call those numbers back.
Aw.
So if you call on a state phone and we get disconnected and I hear that you are, crying for help and we get disconnected, we can't call that number back. So it's very important as soon as you get on there to tell us where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just a simple, so we know how to send law the
Right.
ambulance, the fire department.
Mhm. Mhm. And you're not supposed to hang up, right?
You mean who? 911?
No, the person calling in. We're not supposed to hang the phone up. Like when we call and we get, I don't know, we get all excited and we accidentally hang up.
Oh, no, don't hang the phone up. Unless you have to, of course, in an emergency. And then if we have your phone number, we can call back. But
Right.
if you have one of the state phones that they give
Mhm.
to those in need, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you
Right,
have
right.
one of them phones, don't hang up. If all
Okay.
possible, don't hang up.
Okay.
And the number that you can call for non-emergency is
Uh-huh.
304-587-2019.
Okay. Well, what kind of things is that for?
You may need a number for the courthouse. You may need, you might need to get a hold of DNR.
Mhm.
You might need the sheriff's office number. We have all those numbers listed, that we can help you with that. It's a series of different, there's people that call that number from out of state if they've had a family member traveling.
Mhm.
And they've marked them that they went through, by the map that they went through our county, and they can't
Uh-huh.
find them. They don't know what their location is. So they've called
Mhm.
that number to say, hey, can you help us?
Okay.
Because if you dial 911 and you're not in Clay County, of course, you're going to get a different county.
Sure. Sure.
But yeah, you can call non-emergency for a variety of different things.
Okay. That's cool. What should I do if I call 911 by mistake?
It's okay. We get it all the time. We get at least 5 to 10 hangups a day. Pocket
Oh,
dials,
really?
butt dials, as they say. We will, if most people, they'll say, oh my goodness, and hang up real quick because they don't want to get in trouble, but you're not going to
Right.
get in trouble. We always call back to make sure there was no emergency,
Mhm.
and, so that we can mark it in the CAD system. But,
Okay.
if you call it by mistake, you don't have to hang it up, because we're going to call you back anyway. You can stay on there and just be like, oh, I'm sorry, it was an accident, or my kid was playing with my phone.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So a lot of people don't understand that if you have a phone and it only has Wi-Fi, like when you get a new phone, you give your old phone to your kids to play with.
Right.
You don't have to have service on your phone to call 911. And a lot of kids will call 911 and not mean to.
Right.
So, yeah, it's very important to try to let your kids know that.
Mhm. Oh, you mentioned CAD. What is CAD?
CAD is our computer system that we have all of the our phone numbers, addresses. It's just our system that we use
Mhm.
for all of our information.
Okay.
I mean, it's got every address in Clay County on it. It's got phone numbers, prior numbers. It's just our information database.
Okay. Okay. What about those prank calls? Do you ever get any prank calls to 911?
I've been here for 2 years and I have never got a prank call.
Oh, well, that's good.
Maybe it's because we live in a small county to where the youngins know if they was to do something like that, we'd know who they were. And we'd tell their mom and dad. But no, I've never had one.
Well, that's good. So when you get that 911 call, whom do you dispatch?
Well, it all depends on if it's for medical. The map is split up between Clay EMS and Lismore EMS,
Mm-hmm.
and from Carver Fork and Falling Rock onto the southern end of the county is Lismore, and from this way up is Clay.
Okay.
If it is a fire, same difference with Big Otter, Clay, or Lismore EMS. And for law, it depends on a variety of different, whatever the call is. It would either be the state troopers or the sheriff's office.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if it's a wreck, they're getting everybody.
Well, how many calls do you receive at the center?
It all depends. It all depends. It could be 5 a day, or it could be 20 or more a day. I mean, it really all depends. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our center, we don't get, I think in Charleston, don't quote me on this, but I'm thinking that the 911 center down there gets like 2,000 calls a day. But we're not Charleston.
No.
And the way I see it is, the least amount of calls that you get, the better your county is.
Right.
I mean, this is one place you don't want the calls to come in.
Right.
So, but they can range from anything. They can range from, like I said, literally it can range from cows being on the interstate on I-79 near Serbia to, like I said, a severe heart attack. It can be us happen. We go through a very intense training to be 911. People, they don't. Before I started here, I'd hear people saying, I was one of them. I could go down there and do that job easy. Let me tell you. But you have your telecommunication training, which is, that's your computer system, your CAD system, teaching you your what to do's and what not to do's, what to say, what not to say. And you have your EMD, which is your emergency medical dispatching. You're not allowed to say, for example, I've had calls where there has been people needing CPR. We have our EMD cards that we go by line that can assist you until the EMTs get there on what you should do, or, so that we can give an update to our EMTs, and also to hopefully save your life. That you can't use those. You are not allowed to give that advice unless you've had that EMD training. And, then we go to the state police barracks for a week because we have to have a special training to be able to assist the law, in things that they need. So, I mean, it's a little bit more training than what people think. So,
well, how much time have you put into your training?
All three of those classes are 40-hour week classes, but the training doesn't stop there.
Okay.
We are training every day. There's always something new. There's always a new update. You have to learn all the roads in the county. I mean, essentially, because when we're sending an ambulance out there, and you say, Unit 45, Lismore 45, are you familiar with this address? Oh, no, I'm not county. So we got to be able to go over here to our book and flip and tell them exactly where they're going to go, and read our maps and say, no, maybe, you need to turn back, maybe go here. And it's very crucial to our law and our EMS and fire that the dispatchers memorize the roads as best as possible. So, I mean, the training, it's a never ending training.
Can the center communicate with people that have a speech or hearing impairment?
Yes, we have a special number for different languages, Spanish or whatever. I believe our county contacts the schools and has the teachers that teach those classes would be the ones but now for the hearing impaired, you have a TTY machine that you can use. If you have a TTY machine at home, then my brother is deaf mute. So, you have a TTY machine at home, and they call a number, and whoever picks up, and that person, operator from the TTY, will call 911 and then type it back. And the deaf, that's how they communicate. So, yes.
Okay. That's good. Oh, can I call 911 from a payphone? Do those even exist?
From a payphone. Let me see. I'm thinking there's one. Ain't there one at Beard Go Mart? I think there's one in
I
Go
think
Clay.
so.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but I think on my way home, I'm going to swing by a payphone and I'm going to call 911 here to see if it works. I would assume it would.
I would too. I wonder if it's like your cell phone, if you don't have, even if you don't have service. So if you don't have the quarter or however much it is now to use a payphone, I wonder if you just pick it up and dial 911 without putting money in, if it'll call.
I don't know. Like you would the operator.
Yeah.
You know, you hit 0. What time is it or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to find that out.
Huh. Interesting.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Oh, well, there you go. Aiden's helped us out. Local telephone service providers do not charge for calling 911 from a coin phone.
Well, there you go. That's good information to know.
Yeah. And we've sort of already done this one. Can I call 911 from a cell phone?
Well, of course you can.
Yeah.
That's about the only phones we have these days.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not here in our county, and I don't know when or if we'll ever get it, but in our training, they was talking about how some counties, I believe Charleston Metro, they have texting where you can actually text 911. I don't know how that would work or anything, but who knows? It may be something that Clay County gets one of these days.
That'd be cool. What if I have an internet or digital phone?
Yes. It shows up VOLOP or VOLO something for a on an internet phone. So
okay.
Yes.
Okay, well that's good.
Yep.
Okay. I think that was the last question that we had in our prepared list. But Vickie, do you have anything else you wanted to talk about, or something that we didn't highlight that you really wish that we had talked about?
When people call in for 911, like I said, I know it's one of the most horrific times of your life.
Mm.
As much as we have to be patient with the caller, they need to be patient with us, because there's only, so much we can do. And when the caller is hysterical and we can't get that information that we need, that's just more time that it's going to take to get that help there to you.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, no. That's
well, I had a question, and Aiden probably already knows this, but how long have you been a 911 dispatcher?
August will make 2 years.
Okay. Well, happy anniversary.
Well, thank you. I had never done anything in the med field before. Didn't have no desire. And, of course, the Lord closed one door, and there was another door to be open. And this job opportunity came up, and I took it. And I was like a scared little kid going to high school for the first day. And 2 years later, I can honestly say that I wish I had done it years ago. And it's a very rewarding job. It's very mentally challenging, emotionally challenging. But unless they kick me out, I'm sure I'll be here until the day I retire. I literally can say that I love my job.
Wonderful.
Yes.
We have a couple of comments. One of those is from Scott Bass, and he just says that he wants to thank Vickie and all of the other dispatchers for their hard work.
Aiden's talking, but we can't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
No.
I can.
You can? Okay. Just me.
Okay, and the other one is from Dewana, and she says, "Hi, guys." And then we have one question from Dewana as well. And she says, "Oh, wow, do the majority of people with a state phone know that they can't call them back?"
We're not for sure about that. My director, Becky Pritt, and I was discussing that the other day. And it's sad that we can't call back. I mean, we've had domestics where, you know that something bad is happening and you just can't call. I don't know. I think I'm going to look into that and see who I can contact to see if we can change that.
Is it just the 911 center that can't call back? But
I don't know.
I was just wondering, if they called another cell phone, if they could call.
We can't call them. I don't know. I don't know about that. We're not allowed to call people back on our cells, our personal cells, of many, many reasons. But that is something I will look into, because that is a huge problem. That is a huge problem. And of course, and something I would like to add also is we get a lot of calls, that are not emergencies really, at nighttime, between say midnight and 6 a.m. And it could be something as simple as, earlier today, somebody used this example, they call and they say my camp was broken into. I was out of state, and I found out at 2 today, and it's now 3 a.m. I want to talk to an officer.
Oh,
well, and they expect you to call and wake up an officer for this. I mean, it's just the truth. And, that's something that is not an emergency per se. It is to you, but not as in life or death.
It's not life or death.
Right. So if you have an emergency, for late night like that, I might get in trouble. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but if you have an emergency or if you have something that's not an emergency late night like that, just remember, those officers, they've worked all day, and they're, having to get up in the middle of the night and come out to you, EMS, fire, or whatever. So, we need to step back and look and say, is this something that can wait until morning, till the sheriff's office opens, or, something like that.
Right.
Because then, our first responders, they're always going. They never stop. And, it's something as we, as the county, as our community, I believe that's, something that we always talk about giving back. And that's something we need to give back to them. If it's something that we can't help do for you, if you can wait until morning, just wait.
Well, another comment that showed up from Scott Bass said that if the government phone has no service, it can call 911, but it can't receive calls.
Maybe that's what it is then. Because I don't really know, but because I think they only get certain amount of minutes a month or something. So I don't know, but we get it. I mean, it don't matter. It doesn't matter if it comes up as a 911 phone. We cannot call it back. So, and we get quite a few of them.
Well, you mentioned about getting phone calls late at night and stuff. Do you work? I know you don't work 24 hours a day. So do you work a shift schedule of some kind?
We work. I just got off for 2 years on midnights, so I know all about the whole midnight thing, and that's from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And then we have a 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. shift and a 3 p.m. to 11 shift.
Okay.
And we have to have 2 dispatchers. That's a law. We have to have 2 dispatchers at all times.
Okay.
So, yep.
Cool.
I'm right now on days or mid shift. So.
Thank you very much, Vickie, for joining us. For anyone who's watching the video after, you're welcome to continue to comment, and we will forward those questions to Vickie. And you can also use the contact information below to reach a member of the Clay County CERT administrative team or our administrative assistant, and be directed to someone who can help you if you have any other questions or concerns. And we're always open to suggestions for the next Preparedness Live episode. And once again, I would like to thank our host, Elizabeth Gallaher. And thank you, Vickie, so much for
You're welcome, Aiden. Thank you.
It's wonderful having you on our team. And thank you for all the work that you do. And we'll continue to try to make a difference in the 911 telecommunications sector and ultimately our community. Everyone stay safe, and if you have any other questions, like we said before, reach out to us somehow so we can address your concern.
Thank you all very much for having me.